Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing card of the day reading using the Work Your Light Oracle deck. And I did clear and shuffle this already. I had a whole chunk of them fall on the floor on me. And I was like, hold on a minute. I don't even have the camera on yet. I do really just want one card today. Feeling very much an existential malaise for the last couple of days. It's not necessarily what's going on in the world. It's just dealing with certain day-to-day household things and whatever shadow or elements are coming to the surface. And I did not want to go for a walk today, but I was compelled to. And I had this sort of numinous experience of reaching a stopping point in my walk where I would turn around and go home, and then realizing that there was a lot of rushing water because it's been raining and snowing here in New Hampshire quite a bit lately. So I went, it's not like a major bridge, it's just like a little metal bridge for the road, and the water was rushing down very quickly. And I had found this really interesting, almost rectangular, beautiful white, I guess a chunk of quartz, that I decided to pick up on my walk. And when I was standing on the bridge looking into the water, I was compelled to throw the stone into the water and kind of release whatever was making me feel just... It's like I would have been depressed if it wasn't for apathy. It's like worse than being morbidly depressed. It's that feeling of like, ugh, and not being able to really define it. And I was like, oh, but it's so pretty, I want to take it home with me. And it's like, no, you got to throw it into the water. It's one of those, you can't always hoard beautiful things for yourself. You have to appreciate the time that you have and then let it go. And I was like, okay, it's so spiritual and meaningful. And then I threw it in the water, and there's horses nearby. There's a horse paddock, and the sun had come out after I threw the rock in the water. And then I went to the other side of the bridge to watch the water going away, which was like not as exciting, and I was like, alright, I've done that. And when I turned around to go back, the horses were like walking towards me. There's only two of them. So I stopped and went just a little bit closer, but still across the street, and kind of felt like they were talking to me. But it wasn't, it wasn't like a speech or anything. It was just a kind of a hello with an acknowledgement of whatever was going on, and then I had to leave. So that was exciting. I wouldn't say that I feel particularly chipper, but I definitely feel more at peace. So I would suggest to anybody that's feeling really crappy to go for a walk, especially if you have any place nearby that you can walk to that has like a stream or a little brook or just a bridge over a little river or whatever it might be. Even if you don't want to, if you're like, your body will tell you that if you need to. Alright, I almost had a card pop out. Give me one card for the collective for the day. The Work Your Light Oracle here. I haven't used this deck in a while. I haven't been feeling it. It's, and then the last week, it's been a year since I started getting and learning and reading and handling tarot cards for myself. So it's been 1 year. When I made my channel into a tarot channel in June. So that's 9 months, 10 months. So it's been a year, and I had planned on getting another deck or two this spring, but I finally felt compelled to, so I got the Thoth deck and the Morgan Greer, and I'm excited to have them because the Thoth deck is kind of, it's one of those more unusual ones where the images and the messages have like extra stuff or slightly altered meanings. At least that's how I perceive it to be. And then the Morgan Greer is more traditional, but the images are really intense. It kind of reminds me of the Aquarian deck, but it's more vibrant. And I'm sure I'll figure that out once I actually have them in my hands. Okay. Awakening, and I should have them next week, so that'll be fun to use. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. We have this crescent moon here. We're actually moving towards the full moon in a few days-ish, something. But this is an idea of things that are obscured, something secret, something that's starting to come to light. This floating essence is a little bit like a combination of the Fool and the Four of Swords. It's like you're leaping, but you're also sleeping. Asleeping. The peoples asleeping. And it's like astral projection as well. You know, you're floating above your body, receiving the light. It has energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. This is... It's kind of topical for what's happening right now. I don't know about anybody else, but my dreams have been off the chain for the last few days. My sleeping has been weird. I've had actually a lot of nightmares, and it's nothing that wakes me up like screaming. It's just these sort of like action adventure dreams where there's like fighting against, you know, an antagonistic force, and a lot of, you know, running and scrambling and defending and stuff like that. So when I have those kind of dreams, it's exhausting, and I find it really hard to get back in my body. So, and I haven't really been feeling sick. I've got like perpetual sinus infection right now, and I'm not too concerned about that. But the oh no, I was saying to somebody that I feel sick like in my energy body more than anything else. So I've been kind of like run down and tired, and I've been having this like really like constantly being sucked out of body, and just when I'm awake I'm just kind of like you know, because like what's the point of sleeping if you're going to wake up tired, and then it takes forever to get back to sleep, and I wake up several times, and then I finally get up and I'm like, I don't feel like doing anything today. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the awakening is the activity, and it just feels like we're not doing anything because a lot of it happens while we think we're supposed to be asleep. We're sort of being in this in-between stage, not really knowing what you're doing because everything is shifting. You know, nothing quite feels normal. Also having this really weird relationship with time where it's like when I think about looking at the clock, I'm like, oh, it's probably about, you know, 4 o'clock or something in the afternoon. I look, and right now it's 3:56, but it's not, because I can see it on my computer, but there's other times I'm like, God, it feels like it's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and it'll be like, you know, 5:10 or something. But then I have no idea what day it is. I was convinced that last Sunday was Monday, and it wasn't. And I was like, where did I get this extra day back? Now everything I see online seems to be a day ahead, and I'm like, no, it's still March. What's going on? So it's it's a lot of this card with the energy upgrades. I think a lot of other people are going to be feeling similar 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 like ether of unusualness. Everybody funny. Now you funny too. That's from one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. New way of being integration. Yeah, so I think um, a lot of it has to do with finishing shadow work as well. Stuff that you thought you were done with, you're not actually quite done with, so you're going to be like having these repeat cycles until it's finally done. It's like, I thought I had worked through this issue. Why do I keep thinking about it? Why do I feel the same way? It's like, you know, vacuuming your car versus detailing it. You've got to detail your soul. Or it's being done for you. It's the idea of like going within, but it's a point of it's like so I'm thinking of the Four of Swords. It's the guy that's resting on his shield or whatever after the battle. He's holding his sword. I'm just saying he because it's usually a guy on the card. So it's like the last battle has been fought. You've stayed up all night cramming for your exam. There isn't anything else that you have to actively do right now. It's a point of going through it in your head and trying to remember like what the answers are. You know, like, okay, which is the ventricle, which is the aorta, what's this part over here, where does it attach to the spleen, you know, and it's like you know the answer, but you have to let the information congeal in your head. That's what this card is like. It's you've downloaded the program and now it's installing. You have to wait for it to buffer. Okay, it's on the bottom here. So on the bottom it just says unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. That's that cleansing. That's that detailing. Alright, so if you want to get a reading, I have PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And I do readings pre-recorded, and then I'll get you an unlisted URL, and then you can watch it, and you will be the only one who has the link unless you give it to someone else. I have prints on Cafe Press. I have merch on... No, I have merch on Cafe Press. I have prints on DeviantArt. I'm also giving away 2 free coloring pages, one from each of my 2 coloring books that I have on Amazon. One is Draco Forms, that's Formes, and then Energy Forms. So if you email me, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com, you can get those 2 free JPEGs, you can print them out, or you can color them on your device, and that's for quarantine boredom to help people get through it. Apparently, March 31st is also like National Crayon Day or something, so that was handy to find out on Twitter. What else? I do have a ton of little chapbook packs. It's got little art cards and some poetry in there. It's kind of like a little mini reading. It's just random content that's kind of like pulling cards, where there's images and numbers and words that might do something to help trigger your consciousness to help you move along. And it's like a little gift pack. It's a little fun. Those are in my actual real thing, real art piece catalog. And if you do want to purchase anything from there right now, I will mail it to you. It's a matter of, you know, spraying the package with sanitizer when you get it, or just waiting until the whole social distancing thing is over. And again, in the interim, you can purchase readings if you'd like. And I also do, one of the things in my catalog is digital portraits, so I can get you a digital portrait of your favorite person or pet, or for an extra $10 you can get a celebrity portrait. So those are digital, so that's something you can order as well without having to worry about germs. Yes. Alright, bye-bye.